Okay, hi everybody. I think the first thing to understanding the way to tackle this is to take a moment to see what actually is going on, which there is quite a lot going on. Okay, so our panel has got a high crown going this way. It's also curved going this way, and we've also got a curve going at the lip. So you can't use a bending machine, any straight edge on this. You can't make the lip on a machine. Yeah, lot going on. The other problem you've got, which is why I've shone this up and left the rest dirty, is you've got this impression here, and it's not even an even circle. So there's just a hint of a body line there. And also, the structure is quite restricted. If this was the bottom of a door, it would come out, inch and a half, 2, and you can get your fingers in there. If you've got a rusty strip stuck in there, you know, you're going to really struggle to get it out of there without cutting all this apart, and we don't want to be doing that. So I think the key to this is to do things in the right order at the right time. I think that's the secret. So the first problem then is, where are we going to get this double curvature panel from if we haven't got an English wheel? Because we just got so much curve in it, we need to generate some metal from somewhere that's going to do that for us. Well, the answer is we're going to cheat, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to use somebody else's machinery and somebody else's press that have already made a double curvature panel for us. So here we have, I think this is an MGB bonnet that's rotten in the structure. But what we've got is we've got exactly what we're looking for. We've got that long curve going left to right, and then we've got our rolling curve up and down. Okay, that's the metal sorted out. Now we need to chop it out. So I went ahead and just laid that panel on. I've got it held in 4 places. I hope you can see how nice that sits on there, due to the fact that it's just got that tiny bit of memory in it that wants to stay in that position. And if you sort of compare that to, this is just a very thin piece of flat aluminium. I'm just using this as an example of what would happen if you put a long strip across there. You know, every time you pin it in one place, it puckers up in another. So if you can get it to sit as well as that before you even start trying to let it in, then that's half the battle. So the next thing to do is to come up with a plan of how to tackle it, and I'm leaning towards removing the folded over lip as my first process. So if that's what I decide to do, I'll bring you back when I've got it up, because obviously it's just a load of grinding really. Okay, so I've ground off just the lip of the boot lid, the bit that folds around, and predictably this is the mess that you're faced with. So I've come up with this, which should take care of problems, you know, here, 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 etc., etc. So this face, and you're asking, well, where did that magically appear from? So let me show you. So back to the old scrap bonnet, and I think if I just match those dirty lines up. So that was part of the top structure there, and that, after just flattening out that top relief, that is an amazingly good profile for this section. Now it's great that way, the curve is good, it's not so good this way, so it needs a visit to the shrinker stretcher. I've got my template, so let's just give that a little tweak and see if we can get that fitting better. So I've got the panel we were looking at earlier fitting a lot better now, and I've just chopped it into two pieces to make a repair panel for the left and the right hand side. So I'm just keeping away from the lock and keeping it in manageable sections. So I've drawn around this. Let's chop the rotten bit out and get this piece welded in. Okay, so I've got the inner structure in. That's as good as it gets, I'm afraid, with my level of skill. So anyway, I'm working on this new lip. So I've ground the new piece to match what's on the car, and that seems to be working out all right. So the idea is to grind this back to the original fold, and that is still the fold line, which is why I'm trying to keep it to the bitter end. So the next job now is to weld this piece in and grind it back to match that profile, and then hopefully we might actually be able to get on with replacing the rusty bit. Let's see how we get on. So I went ahead and spot welded our new lip on from behind, and then I went along with the tin snips because we don't want to be all afternoon grinding it to the correct size. So that's all I've done, just tin snipped it round. So now we just need to grind that last little bit to follow the shape of the boot there. And we just got a touch on that edge because that's our folded edge, and the lip is going to be a bit shy of that. So let's grind that back and we should be ready to lay on our new sheet metal. So the idea of pinning the panel to the old one at this stage is all about bending this lip over. If I show you underneath, the idea is that you've got your new piece of metal, you've got your old and the remains of anything else, which is making a, you know, like a poor man's hammer form. So hopefully by putting a dolly underneath here, we can just tip that over without having to, you know, like remove the boot or build a wooden hammer form to go under here. So, you know, you just got quite a sturdy shelf there, but obviously time will tell. So the next part of the process is to unpick all these screws and prep these corners for when we set this one flush it in, because once we've welded it in we won't be able to remove the old panel behind it. So that's the next job. So we're good, we should be good this way, that is going to be where the repair panel sits, but we're a little bit big overall length, so we're going to have to like cut and shut it together to get that perfectly in line with this edge here. Okay. Okay, I thought I'd bring you in one last time while it's still in the metal before we start anti-rust treatment and weld through primer, etc. So I've gone ahead and cut the panel in two, like I said, and I wanted to show you how much longer that panel is when it's in its correct position. You know, you can see a hell of an overlap there. You'd be fighting to, you know, lose that much around the edges. So, and also it makes it a hell of a lot more manageable. If it starts going pear-shaped, which it normally does for me, you know, at least it's you know, you're only dealing with half of it at a time. So that's where we are. Obviously I'm going to concentrate on where it meets the boot skin, because that's the most important part of the job to get that profile right, so that should be interesting. So the next job is cure rust all the bare metal, and then, you know, choose your poison. This is what I use for weld through primer, cold galv spray. So I'll bring you back when we start welding. Okay, we're just putting in the last of the welds now. There are a number of ways to do this repair. I'm not saying this way is the best. I'm just picking a way that is within my talent. So, not least is, why don't you just go and buy the panel that is available and save yourself a lot of bother? Well, while I got your attention, I thought I'd tell you how much it is, and you can make up your own mind. £272, and that doesn't include postage, so I don't know if it comes with a welder or not, but I like my repair better than forking out for that. So, you know, there it is. There's lots of different ways of doing it. Do it, you know, on the car, off the car, chop it up into different pieces, all sorts of ways. But I just thought I'd let you know, if you're interested. You know, the cost is unbelievable. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off, and then we'll just wrap up by bending this round, and it'd be interesting to see how it fits when we close the boot. Okay guys, that's my hobby restorer's attempt at Jaguar bootlet repair. Let's have a look round, see if we got it anywhere near. So what I was concentrating on was just getting that to continue to flow, because I think that, to me, that's the most important thing. So looks okay. We've still got that partial body line, and I do happen to know that my number plate covers pretty much that anyway, so I'm pleased with it. Incidentally, if you're like your metal videos, check out my video on how we filled the hole where a Webasto used to be. And finally, let's see how this fits with the rest of the car. Well, good enough for me. Obviously we can do the final tweaks. This is just literally, I've just literally put the hammer down, so there'll be some little tweaks and whatnot before it's a finished job. But okay, that's it for this one. Thanks ever so much for watching, and till next time, bye for now.